What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. I love Bitcoin Cash, man. Shout out to the Dragon Riders. Shout out to the House of the Dragon, the Clan Dragon itself. We are still dragging ass. We really are. We've done some significant things, though. We have done some significant things finally, and I want to say a few things on the matter, right? So just like I've kind of been calling, or not, I haven't been calling for this. I shouldn't say that. I gave it in the list of things to consider, and I think we've finally gotten the bearish resolution that I was looking for, which is that we closed below this 236 as we did the previous two times, but instead of coming back up above it the next day, we actually had a secondary day that closed below it. Now, to be fair, this day in itself is kind of bullish looking, right? I think it's like a bullish hammer, right? It's got like a body at the top that's smaller than the wick, and the wick is to the downside. If anything, you kind of have a double bottom forming, right? But I don't think this is a double bottom, guys. I think that this, what we've been doing lately has been, right? Psych, we're not going up. Psych, we're not going up. Psych, we're not going down. Psych, we're not going up. Like it's just been a very big psych out throughout this whole little range here. People are probably going long or short or whatever, and there's some like stop losses being hunted out. Maybe not. Maybe there's no interest in this thing, and there's just volatility or neutrality because of that. I have no idea why the price moves the way it does, but just because of how confusing it's been for the past like 10 days now, I would think that this double bottom look here is going to be falsified. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe later this week. I think that this is to give people hope that, oh, it's bull time, here we go, we're going to go up, and I wouldn't be surprised if today closed red, or maybe the next few days close red. I would be surprised if we got back above this 236. If we do that, man, this 236 is going to be disregarded, because I don't know what else to do with it at that point. Looking at it, let's see, if we take a low to a high here, yeah, we did bottom kind of a few times now off of the 1272, but we rejected on the 886 afterwards. This kind of price action, I'll delete this first fib. When you see this kind of stuff, and again, I drew my anchor points from this low to this high in this original like top range here. This kind of stuff, this behavior is very normal whenever you see the price move down to the 618. It'll come to the 1272, reject the 886, and then move down to the 618 or lower even. This is a small enough fib range to where we could see deeper extensions, and deeper extensions would be down at the 2272 to the 2886, even to the 3618. That is totally possible. So, and I mean, we could go lower, but the 3618 I think would be a more dominant like bottom idea. I don't know, and we could go slightly through it. We don't have to bounce right off it, just like we didn't bounce right off the 1272. We went a little bit through it. We went a little through the 886, but you can see what I mean. Like this is the area that we're bouncing off of. So generally, just from the look of this, just the way that it looks to me, I would think that we're at least guaranteed the 1618. But again, this is a small enough range where seeing deeper extensions is not out of the question at all. And you guys know where I stand with Bitcoin Cash. I definitely think that it's going to around anywhere from like 135 at like the ass end of it, like the bare minimum, to 185, somewhere in there, 135 to 185. That's kind of a big range, but that's where I think that we're going to. And the reason for that is based off of these fibs here. Generally Bitcoin Cash likes the 0.5 area, and sometimes it's not uncommon for it to go just slightly above the 0.5. 185 is actually in the middle, and I feel like that's a little bit high of a range, but we'll give it to it, whatever. It'd probably be more likely be like 182 or something like that. But whatever, I'm not too picky. We'll just say 185 because it sounds better. 185 to 135, because again, if you go to the 618, it's not uncommon to go below the 618 and then close above it for the day. So you still hold it on a closing basis, but you wicked below the 618 to the 0.69 area. That's very common. We've seen it before. On Bitcoin Cash specifically, that actually happens a lot. Whenever we do go below the 0.5. But, we're not there yet. There's still a lot that has to happen before we go down there, and I think we are seeing the beginnings of it. We have closed now 2 days below the 236. We just had a day that opened and closed below it. I do think that we're getting ready for our next move down, which will be around this $201 area, something like that. We could even go a little bit lower to these previous areas where the day closed, which would be closed and open, which would be at 194. We could go just below 200, find some support, bounce up from there, and that a bounce in this area, guys, could take us all the way back to the 236, and then we go lower. That's not uncommon behavior. It's very common for fibs to, you can see it here. You went down to the 236 area, you rejected the 0.69 area. Now we're going down maybe to the 382. Oops, I didn't mean to draw it that low, I'm sorry. Now we go down to the 382 area, reject the 236 area. Down, like that kind of action. It keeps like dipping below. I don't mean for it to dip below those lines, but whatever. So I do think we're going lower. I think we're showing signs and conviction that we are going to go lower, but let's continue to look at this thing with fresh eyes and see what we got going on here. We did have a confirmed rejection off of the 50, off of an area we've rejected before. I would expect that on a daily perspective, the RSI does want to go to the oversold zone. If not into it, at least off of it. Either way, bouncing off of it would be a lot more bullish, but going down here doesn't make it like inherently like dramatically bearish. It just means we're going to go lower in price. And that would be good for me because I do want this thing to go. I want to buy, and anybody that's trying to buy this dip, it'd be good for you too. It's good for all of us trying to buy this dip. But right now, I think what we're doing is just testing resistance on this previous little area that we found support on. Looking at it on a 4-hour perspective, yeah. We've got, it's a pretty weak RSI. We had a very neutral looking RSI right now, but as it's kind of going down, you can see we've gone up, we've gone down, we've gone up, we've gone down, but we've had deeper moves to the downside than we have to the upside, and longer time below the 50 than we did above the 50. So I do think that the bears are in control here. We are going up at the current point in time. We're going up a little bit, which is fine. That it's not a big deal. I wonder. I don't know. I don't like using small term fibs like this, but sometimes, and I mean often enough, actually they do work out. But we could make a move back up, above that 236 that we just broke through. We could make a move back up above that to around 245, 246, maybe even up to like towards 250. But ultimately, I would think that if we do that, it's going to be just another lower high, an area that you would sell or offload your bags before having this final move to the downside. We do have, again, it does look double bottom like at the moment. On the 4-hour, to be completely fair, it doesn't look completely half bad, to be completely fair. But I think, again, man, I think it's like a psych out. I really think it's a psych out. There's probably people who are going long or buying here that will be met with some resistance, and ultimately that's just going to be more selling pressure to the downside. We are right now finding resistance the last 1, 2, 3, 4 hour or four hour candles now. With 40 minutes left in this one, I bet we do close below this range where we found support before, right? We found support right there. If I was to put it at this wick here, resistance, 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 support over here, support even over here. So I do think that this line at around 240 is somewhat significant. Yeah, we found resistance over here. So likely, in comparing it to this past price range, if we were to go to like the bottom of it, that would be like somewhere around here. Yeah, that puts us around like 220. We could go lower than that, but that might be like a more immediate move that we see before we go lower. I don't really like it. I don't like it at the moment. It kind of looks bullish to a certain degree, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I'm not taking the bait on that personally. And that's only on the 4-hour. The daily looks bearish. The weekly looks bearish. Like looking at this here, right? You've got now 4 red weeks in a row. Well, we're not quite done with this week, but you had this wick down to the downside here, and then you gave it all back, and now this week you just ate it up again so far. There is still about 5 days left, so a lot can happen. We're only 4.6% down. It's not a problem at all for Bitcoin Cash to go up 4.6% in a day's time. So this week could end up closing green. We'll see what it does by the end of it. And if it were to close green, what would happen is we'd get a bounce off of this area, and that would actually look very, very bullish. So if you're bullish and you want to hold on to hope, and you want to disregard every bearish thing that I've said, and just kind of give yourself like not false hope, but like very legitimate hope that this thing could have bottomed already and it's go time. You want to get a green week. You want to bounce off of this weekly RSI, because as bearish as the daily looks and as bearish as the weekly looks right now, if the week closes green, that'll negate the bearishness, and the weekly overtakes the daily for sure. So that would negate the bearish dailiness too, or the daily bearishness as well. Bearish dailiness. Let's see here. Let us take a look, shall we? I don't know. I don't normally like the 15-minute time frame, though you are, at the moment, looking like you're breaking out a little bit. You've got volume building. RSI looks strong. Maybe we're making a move to the short term to the upside right now. You know, and again, we could go all the way up to like 245, 250, and that wouldn't be a problem. That's not, you know, that's Bitcoin Cash is anything but stable. It's very volatile, so it could do that on its way down. It could go back up a little bit. You know, back up to around these areas even, and then come down. It's not completely broken out of this price range yet, so we could go back to the highs of it, sure. Out of this whole price range where we've been very volatile, yeah, it could definitely happen. So I'm not disregarding that as a possibility, though ultimately, guys, I do think we're going to go down. Same old as I've been saying. I do think that we're probably likely going to move down to at least the 200 level. But where my real price targets are, where my buy orders are, and I haven't moved them, I actually don't think I'm going to move them, is between 180. I have my buy orders set between 180 and 145, which is 145 is just below the 618 there. But, you know, I do think we have a chance of bottoming even a little bit higher than 180. That is possible. But my gut, my opinion, my intuition, whatever, it's telling me that we are going to break this level, that we're probably going to break the 0.5. So most of my orders, actually most of the volume is below this this green line here. It's like in between this green line and actually like just below the orange line there. So in case anybody's wondering. But I don't know, man. I don't know. We don't have any volume really coming in on the daily, do we? Let's see. Look at this bad boy. Nothing really, man. Not a whole lot. Yeah, volume's just declining. So we're overdue for some volume to come in. That's probably also why we've been moving sideways. Nobody's interested in it right now. So I think when we get a move that's more convincing one way or another, the volume will come in. People will be more convinced of where this thing's going. So right now nobody's convinced. We're getting uncertain moves in uncertain times with no interest in the market because people are uncertain. So we're just waiting for that interest to come back in, and we'll see what direction it takes us. I personally am thinking that it goes to the downside. It doesn't have to, but this is just more of the same stuff, you guys. There's not really too many big things that have happened, other than we have 2 days now that have closed below, 1 day that has opened and closed below this overall greater fib 236 level right here, which to me is enough to say that it's a confirmed break below the 236, and we likely will go at least to the 382. But Bitcoin Cash, man, it likes this 0.5 area. It really does. And if it breaks it, it almost, I think every time it's broken through it. No, because it's had times where it's wicked below it and it's still bottomed somewhere around here. So this 0.5 to 0.618 area really is something to keep an eye on. But before we even get there, this 382 area is very essential, because we very well could bottom somewhere down there. So keeping that in mind, I think, is key, and we'll just go from there, guys. So if you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. I very much appreciate all the new subscribers and all the likes and all the comments. You guys are great. If you would like to join the Discord or the Telegram, you know, I've got a vote going on right now on Twitter. Let's actually look it up. Twitter. I got a poll going on, and it looks like everybody's voted for Discord and one person's voted for nothing. I say everybody. I've got 3 votes on it so far. This poll will close in 2 days. I gave it 3 days, 6 hours, and 9 minutes of time. 369. And we are, you know, if this is the way it goes, we're in between having nothing at all or Discord. So just let me know what you guys want. I've also been paying attention to the comments. It looks like most people don't care one way or another, And if there has been any opinions, it's been toward Discord. So very much appreciate you guys. Very much appreciate all the participation and everything that you've done so far. If you'd like to leave your opinion as to where you'd like the channel to have its chat, just let me know. You know, we haven't formed that yet, but we will very soon. So have a very good day, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.